What's up, family? It's your man Mark Black. Happy Friday to you. I want to thank you all for joining me today for your daily dose. Sorry about yesterday. Issues and things happen, but I'm glad to get a chance to come and speak with you today. Today, the topic that I want to talk about. Oh, wait, pause. Before I get started, make sure that you join us live tomorrow for Sucker Free Saturday. We are having a drawing for $25 tomorrow, but only for those who are participating during the broadcast. So make sure you're here, right? When you give to me, I love a chance to give back. And the topic tomorrow is kind of germane to the topic that I'm going to be addressing today. All right. So please make sure you're there. I'd love to see you. And we're going to definitely get in a good broadcast tomorrow. So the topic for today is the spirit of fear, right? Now, I have to admit something here. There are many of you who are involved in this advocacy who claim to be without fear. And if you are one of those few fortunates in this situation, in this transformational moment that is truly without fear, hats off to you. Because I can tell you for a certainty that there are people who are advocates right now who are afraid, who have fears, concerns, worries. For example, salute CRU, welcome to your daily dose, man. For example, peace, darker visions. I have certain fears and concerns about my advocacy as an ADOS advocate. I was just sharing with Miss Denny actually what my biggest fear in this thing is. My biggest fear is that nothing will happen, right? That I will broadcast all the information that I broadcast, do all the research that I do. Peace, Chris, by the way, welcome to your daily dose. And do everything that it is that I do, only to see really nothing happen with the people. Now, I'm not saying, family, that that's what I believe is going to happen. Because there's an interesting thing to consider when it comes to fear, right? My mother gave me an acronym that helps me whenever I'm afraid. She took the word fear, and I don't know if she borrowed it from somebody or if she made it up herself, but she told me an acronym that I think is powerful. She said, fear is false evidence appearing real, right? False evidence appearing real. Fears always seem to have some basis in what we think of as reality, but in point of fact, have nothing to do with the current situation or the current understanding of how things are going, right? Many of you out there would love to be powerful advocates for justice for the American descendants of slavery. But let's face facts. You have fears. You have concerns, right? You have issues. You might have a pretty decent job. You might be one of the few of us who have really good gainful employment. Now, you're wanting to be this powerful advocate. You believe in the cause. You cleave to your lineage and to your heritage and to the people associated with your lineage and your heritage. But you also worry that should you become too strident, should you become too radical, peace, Albert, welcome to your daily dose, that your job is going to be taken away from you. You might be a brother out there who heard about ADOS and said, this is what the fuck I've been waiting for. But you have a family. You got some kids. You have a wife. People are out there physically accosting people over this situation. Historically, any black person that has stood up against the status quo, that has fought for justice, has sometimes had to face really high prices. Peace, Malika, and welcome to the broadcast. So you're afraid. You're afraid that something might happen to your children. Something might happen to your wife. You may be somebody out there who wants to take and jump on this train and ride it until the wheels fall off. But your fears won't let you. Your fear that you're going to look like a beggar, right? So you're fearing the loss of dignity and hits to your pride and ego. The fears that you're not going to accomplish anything because you don't have enough people. The fears that if you get too strident, too radical, that it's going to open a door for reprisals, for collective punishment. Peace, black man. Welcome to your daily dose. What it do? I get those fears, family. Trust me, I do. I am your brother. There's not a fear or a worry or a concern that you can express that I can't relate to. But I'm here to tell you that your fears, your worries, your concerns is the greatest fight that you have ahead of you. No bullshit. It's the greatest battle that we as ADOS people will have to fight. Some of us have a spirit of fear that derives from the fear of loss. Some of us have a relatively comfortable position, even under this current status quo. And so we fear to lose what little we have. Some of us have fears that derive from the trauma of living an ADOS life in the confines of the United States. The constant feelings of inadequacy, the crushing poverty and degradation, the physical traumas that come from bad eating, bad diets, self-medicating, and so on and so forth. We have fears about our advocacy and our place in this transformational moment due to trauma that we have experienced living lives as ADOS folk. But your brother is here to tell you that your greatest fight happens right where you're sitting, right where you're standing. Sure, many of you got fears of the reprisals of white America, the harsh treatment that many of us may be subjected to. Some of us may even be killed for our advocacy. That's a fact. That's history in America. And that fills you with fear. But the fact that something could happen doesn't mean that it will. False evidence appearing real. There's a quote from the Bible that I want to share with all of you that details exactly who your real enemy is in this fight. For we battle not with flesh and blood, but with principalities and powers in high places. This is talking about, in a sense, demons. Now, I'm not a spiritual person. I'm not a religious person. So let me elaborate why I'm sharing this quote with you. We as human beings have within the confines of our brain computers the capacity to be both angel and devil. Peace, Brother Christopher. Welcome to your daily dose. We have the capability to be both angel and devil. Because of this, we have to understand, we have to be discerning, we have to know when it is the so-called demonic side of us that has taken hold. One of the names historically for the chief of the devils, the demon of all demons, the capo di tutti capo, is Satan, from the Hebrew Hasatan, which means the accuser. I would argue, family, that your devils come to you accusing you of risking your life willy-nilly, accusing you of giving up a good thing you got, accusing you of putting your family and your livelihood at risk. I argue that of all the fights that ADOS folk will have to make in this push for our justice claim to be upheld, the fight against our own demons, our own devils in our head, is going to be the greatest one. Some of you are allies of ours. You could opt out of the fight, and yet you're in it. But I understand some of the fears that you have too as allies of ours. Feelings of, would they risk this for me? Are they going to make my sacrifices, my allyship worthwhile? Our allies have the same damn devils to fight, the same war inside that we have to fight. They have to continually make the commitment to be allies of ours, knowing that all of their worst fears could come true, but haven't. False evidence appearing real. So today I say to you, family, that whatever your fear is, whatever spirit of fear has possessed you, whether it is a spirit of fear given birth by trauma, or the concern of loss, or the wounding of your pride, or the smashing of your ego, fight that fight first. Because I can guarantee you, family, that for every fear, every concern, every worry, everything that you're afraid of, if you're able to combat that, then the fights that we have to face against the United States and our fellow citizens is a mop-up. It's a cakewalk. You slay the demons that tell you that niggas ain't gonna do shit about this reparations stuff. You fight the demons that tell you, oh man, why do I need to go ahead and risk my shit? Ain't nobody else risking theirs. I guarantee you fight those devils. And we cannot be stopped. Fight the devils of apathy. Fight the spirit of fear that causes you to freeze up and do nothing. Because we don't have the luxury at this point of doing nothing, fam. So whatever your fear is, be honest about it. Own it. Tell the truth. Turn to your people and say, I'm afraid. But commit to slaying that demon of fear, that spirit of fear that is possessing you and telling you to not do the needful. And I guarantee you that if you win that fight, the fight that we have faced against America and our fellow citizens is nothing. It's nothing. That's all I wanted to say on it, family. I hope to see all of you tomorrow for Sucker Free Saturday. Again, we're having a drawing for $25 for those who are watching live, so please make sure you're there. And until I see you then, I want to wish you, as always, love, peace, prosperity, and power, real power to our peeps.